Anxiety, it's not just a feeling. It can make the most simple things in life feel impossibly hard. And the worst part is, after a while, it stops feeling like a few hard tasks and starts feeling like there's something fundamentally wrong with you. From the outside, it looks totally invisible. And that's what makes it so isolating. A sink full of dishes starts to look like laziness to other people and even to ourselves. Taking days to reply to a text message looks careless, even when you already know how lonely you feel inside. Your phone rings, and instead of it just being a phone call, you feel this wave of dread at the thought of having to answer it. There have been times when I've just lived off quick, easy meals because I couldn't face properly looking after myself. Times when I haven't showered for 3 days because I couldn't even see the point in going outside anyway. People often think anxiety is just the obvious stuff, the nervousness, the jitteriness, the panic in crowded places, but a lot of the time it shows up in much quieter places and in much quieter ways. It's the dishes. It's running out of food because you haven't been to the shop. It's the messages you still haven't replied to. It's ordinary life slowly starting to feel heavier than it should. And that's what makes it so hard to explain to people. Because from the outside, these things look small. But when your system is already overloaded, they don't feel small anymore. It can feel like you're actually drowning in those dishes. You're not just dealing with the task itself. You're dealing with the weight your system is already carrying before the task even shows up. So something simple like doing the dishes or answering a message doesn't come in one small thing. It comes in on top of everything else. The noise in your head, the tension in your body, the dread you're already living with, the guilt, the overstimulation, the sense that you're already behind. And because of that, simple things stop feeling simple. They start feeling loaded instead. A text message isn't just a text message anymore. It becomes pressure. A phone call becomes pressure. Going to the shop becomes pressure. Even small acts of looking after yourself that should feel like nurture can start to feel like too much when your nervous system already feels like it's carrying far more than it can hold. And I think that's why people can be so hard on themselves, including myself, when they're anxious. Because on some level, they know these things should be easy. They know doing the dishes shouldn't feel like climbing a mountain. They know replying to one message shouldn't take 3 days. But it's just so hard. And that gap between what looks simple and what feels impossible creates a lot of shame. And that's when things can really start going downhill. And after a while, it's not even just the task that feels hard. It's what struggling with the task starts to mean about you. Because when you keep putting off basic things, it starts getting into your self-worth. You don't just feel overwhelmed anymore. You start feeling useless and weak. And then that snowballs. Like there's something wrong with you for finding ordinary life this damn hard. There's been mornings where I'm lying in bed thinking, I need to wash the dishes because I've got no clean plates left, no cutlery left, and I still don't do it. Then the whole day gets shaped around that. I end up eating something that doesn't need a plate, like a pot noodle, and the task is still there, hanging over me all day. And underneath all of that is this constant feeling of, what the fuck is wrong with me? That's where anxiety starts quietly changing the way you see yourself. because you stop feeling like someone who is struggling and you start feeling like someone who is failing. And that's a very, very big difference. And I think that the place to start when it comes to dealing with this is to first stop being so hard on ourselves. The dishes do need to be done, sure. And we shouldn't keep putting it off forever, especially not days and into weeks, washing one plate at a time when you need it. Because more things just start piling up. But beating ourselves up when we don't do it the first time or the second time is only going to make us feel worse, which leads to putting the simple things off for a third time or a fourth time until we have a mountain of things to do and we're just overwhelmed again. And we live in a world of overwhelm right now. We don't need to be making it worse for ourselves. But if you have things to do right now, sometimes what helps me is just trying to do one part of one of the things I have to do. If you have a sink full of dishes, say to yourself, I'm going to go and wash one spoon or one plate, and then see if it leads to doing another plate or a fork. My thinking when I do this is that when I start something, I'm more likely to finish it. And usually it works. It's not a magical fix, I know. But just don't feel bad. Because you're not lazy. And you're not failing at being an adult. And being an adult is hard. We know that. That pile of dishes, or that message you haven't replied to, they're not flaws. They're symptoms. I think you're just overwhelmed, and I think that deserves a lot more understanding, especially from you. Don't shame yourself even more. You don't deserve it.